bosses knew that I'm an actor.
Interesting.
And I was launching YouTube for Zomato. And so my manager said, listen, you're an actor, you're comfortable in front of the camera, so you do it.
नाश्ता पानी मांगा था मैंने, तुमने भाई पानी में नाश्ता दे दिया मेरे को. Very fulfilling.
I was like, will you pay me extra? He said, no chance. This is really funny. I went to ISB to take a class. And there was a student who left a chit in my bag to be my intern. And that really caught my eye. I was doing theatre in Delhi. But my parents completely disregarded. They said that, this is just a time pass.
There's a fun segment here where I'm going to ask you to rebrand some of the really, really boring businesses.
I did Laila Majnu. I was in Kashmir. It was the last take we were doing, and the director said cut. And I got my result on my phone. Sahaba Bali MSc Marketing with distinction, and I was like, Papa ko pata nahi. My favorite shark is Piyush Bansal.
देगा कौन?
मैं दूंगा 20 लाख रुपए मैं आपको दूंगा लोन कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं लूंगा आपसे.
He is super smart. He is very enthusiastic. He's also very warm, loving, and humble. I'm not so special. I'm just here. One day you'll be. But इतना crazy नहीं है. Just like whatever your passion is, do not let go because you can really capitalize on it.
We use you because everybody already knows you. You have had a fantastic journey, right? From GU to Zomato to an academy, the typical corporate side of things. And now you're handling Disney Star, you're hosting Shark Tank. Your life is a role model for a lot of the youngsters here. So would love to know how all of this happened.
It was when I was in 12th grade. I was doing NUN, quizzing, theatre, everything. I was the president of the theatre club, and my parents were very, very adamant कि 95% से नीचे नहीं लाना. So I was just very studious as well, and all the teachers kept on complaining to my parents that she's very distracted, she is doing too many extracurriculars, she's not going to succeed well in her life. And I kept on telling my parents, you should be proud that your daughter is multi-talented. It's not that she's distracted. And that's what I keep on telling a lot of young people. If you have a lot of passion, don't let anyone tell you you're distracted or, this music is not going to do you good or your dance career is not going to do you good. You can do it all. I know a corporate lawyer who is a classical, Bharatanatyam dancer. I know singers who have amazing bands, but they're leading their startups and multi-million-dollar startups. So keep pursuing what you're doing, but please study also. That's very important. Please get your degree.
Tell us more about your journey, the switches that happened and how you landed up in the Bollywood as well.
So a lot of people don't know this, but I started acting when I was 4 years old. I was always a theatre child. I was doing theatre in Delhi. And in school, I was the president of the theatre school. And in DU, I got admission because of theatre as well. But my parents completely disregarded that. They said that, this is just a time pass. Both parents both say. But I loved it so much. It was my joy. So I didn't let it go. I kept on saying कि मैं economics कर लूँगी, मैं MBA कर लूँगी, मैं सब कर लूँगी, but this is what brings me happiness, so I continue doing that. And when I was doing theatre in Delhi University, I'm doing economic honors, which is very tough, because it was the only time when I was like, what are these alpha, gamma, beta? Like there was no numbers in maths in economics for some reason. There were only letters, so it was very daunting. But I didn't let it go, and casting directors saw me and I started auditioning. So actually my first acting hit was Dangal.
Was it?
For like 2 seconds. You will not remember things. There's this little funny looking girl who was super tan because she was doing street plays. I was like 10 shades darker. And I asked one of the wrestlers a question. Like, Angelina, some nerves for the match. That's it. I won that one. I was so happy getting that because I auditioned and, I got Hiwali Amir Khan. I did that and then I went abroad for my master's and I continued auditioning. Then I got Laila Majnu, which re-released recently last year, and I did supremely well this year. And I got the role. And again, Papa, my dad was like, no, you're studying abroad. I'm paying for your education. You can't let go of this education. You're not doing this film. Yeah. And I begged him. I'm like, please let me do this film. I really want to act. He said no. So then I wrote him an email. Like literally I went on Gmail and I have that email still and it brings tears to my eyes. I written, dear Papa, I know that you don't want me to pursue acting and you don't want me to do this film, but I promise I'll finish my master's. I'll get distinction and I will do this film. He didn't talk to me and he told apni beti ko sambhal le, so traumatized my mom. Mom's like, I'll support you, you go do it. And I did Laila Majnu, I was in Kashmir and I was doing my thesis. So I kept on studying. I'd like got these thick books from my library from the UK, played excess baggage because they were really heavy books. Did my research in Kashmir, finished my dissertation, and I remember it was the last day on set. It was the last take we were doing, and it was so like serendipitous because the director said cut. And I got my result on my phone that very second. And in Kashmir, internet is such an issue.
Correct.
So I was like running around trying to find signal. And then it said Sahaba Bali MSc Marketing with distinction. And I was like, Papa ko pata nahi. Ho gaya. So I think the constant thing was always that. And then when I started working, whether it was Unacademy, Zomato, or actually I was in Time Technoplast before that, I kept on acting. I did Bard of Blood when I was doing a corporate job. I did Chamkila. I did Tanav when I was doing Zomato. So I didn't let go. And I think not letting go was something that just stayed. And I think everyone can do it. I'm not so special. I'm just here. One day you'll be. Whatever your passion is, do not let go because you can really capitalize on it.
You always knew acting is your passion, or you had to find it?
I think kudos to my parents when unki bahut burai kar liye, but no, they're actually pretty chill and cool. So they both were working and I'm the only child. And because I was so alone, they would send me to a lot of classes, Bharatnatyam, jazz, piano, theatre, something that I loved. So I quit everything else. But
You
theatre,
tried everything and then you finalized.
Then
on
I
one.
finalized on this because it brought me a lot of joy. Yeah.
Okay. And now let's talk about Unacademy and Zomato before we talk about how were your learnings there? You were still acting, you said, while you were in the corporate as well. So how were you managing it, and what were your any insights from acting that was helping you in the corporate world, or anything from the corporate world that was helping you with acting?
This is not such a nice thing to hear. We live in India where there are a lot of smart, intelligent people with a lot of skills and talent. So what across years I identified is everyone is replaceable. If you can't do it, somebody else is going to do it. It's not that big of a deal. So to not have that ego and pride that I am the one, I know I can do this and nobody can beat me. That is a good feeling, but it's not always true. Anyone can take your place. So you really have to like find a opportunity and be so good at it that you need someone to say that you cannot be replaced. We need you. In the beginning of my career, all I did was try to be irreplaceable. And that really helps. Like you find something and nobody can beat you at. Like you have to be the best at it. And in corporate, you need to fight for that. Like I wanted the promotion. I wanted to lead brand. I wanted to be that person who Sunday ko bhi kaam karegi. It sucks, to be honest. It's not the best thing to do, but you have to. So I did that. I gave it all. I hustled. I worked really, really hard. Eventually, then I got to a stage where if I wanted to pursue acting on the side, my boss would let me. Because then I reached a point where they said, she will handle it. We trust her enough. And that takes a lot of time because people really don't have that trust. That's how Zomato happened for YouTube. I don't know if you've seen Zomato's YouTube, like videos of me and Sammay or me and Khali. Khali is a great guy, by the way. So because my bosses knew that I'm an actor and I was launching YouTube for Zomato and we had zero budgets. We had no money. So I didn't have any money to pay any actor or any host. So my manager said, listen, you're an actor. You're comfortable in front of the camera. So you do it. I was like, will you pay me extra? He said, no chance. So I did that and that really blew up because I was very comfortable with people. I was really comfortable in front of the camera and it worked. And because my bosses saw कि इसमें तो views आ रहे, engagement आ रहे, तो results ला रही है, तो you're doing it.
And you've actively spoken about leveraging your network. Tell us how you leveraged your network in your career.
So I moved to Bombay. And it was really tough for me because I didn't know how Bollywood worked. I did not know anyone. And as a single child and being a girl in this industry, it was scary. I didn't know what to do and who to talk to. But when you meet the right kind of people, you have to see where you can help them and where they can help you. It's always mutual. And to create a friendship out of that, most of my friends in the industry are my work friends. Whether it's a comedian, whether it's a director, everyone, the first thing was not aapse main kaam karwaungi. It's finding a friendship there. And once that bond got created, then helping each other grow. And I think networking is very important. You cannot have that ego ki I don't want to talk to this person. I can't talk to this person. Talk to everyone. You never know who will help you later or how you can be helpful to someone. So I have friends from spot boys to crew guys to technicians to the biggest directors to comedians, everyone. And just having that network anyhow will do you good. There are a lot of transactional relationships. You know the word matlabi? Don't be that person. And LinkedIn for corporate doesn't help. You wouldn't believe me that it doesn't help. Everyone focuses on LinkedIn because, if somebody is at a CEO level or a higher management level, they get hundreds and thousands of LinkedIn DMs. So do I. And I'm being very honest, I don't get a chance to look at every DM possible. So you have to physically go to these events, which Master Unions also does. You have a lot of events that you do. Go to any opportunity you can get to go to someone's office, go for an event, take part in extracurricular so that you physically meet people. And this is really funny. I went to ISB to take a class and there was a student who left a chit in my bag.
Oh, wow.
To be my intern. And that really caught my eye. You need to do creative stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I actually approached that person then later.
If somebody's so smart to do that, then
my bag is with me here, unfortunately. You guys can't wait. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about something that everybody is wanting to hear about, which is Shark Tank.
Yeah.
How did you get this one? And second, tell us something behind the scenes that we don't know about.
So I got a call because I think the first season was Ran Vijay, who was the host. Second was Rahul. And the third season I did and with Ashish. And they had called saying that, because I host cricket, I'm a sports anchor as well. So they liked that vibe that I had, that I could easily talk to people. So I had to go to the office and audition. So I had 2 rounds of audition where they had fake sharks in front of me and I had to talk to the fake sharks. And then there was a contestant and they really threw me off because they created crazy situation ke sharks ke beech mein ladai hogi. And so how am I mediating that? This was my audition. And the person who was with me cannot speak English or Hindi. So I have to figure out on how to talk to them.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very fun audition and luckily it worked out and I got the part. And it was very strenuous because every day, November and December, you have to shoot because what you see is one episode, but we take at least 2-3 days to shoot all of that. And it's constant and it's back to back. And I don't know how the sharks do it because they are running their own empires.
Yeah.
And yet they are there. My favorite shark is Piyush Bansal, Lenskart. He is super smart. He's very enthusiastic. He's also very warm, loving and humble. Namita is very poised and she's very smart. And what I love about Namita is she doesn't talk much, which is a great trait. She talks smart. You don't need to talk a lot. You just need to talk smart. So which she does. And all of them get along. They also fight a lot. They have a whole styling team. They have a makeup team. So now they're mini celebrities of their own. Actually, not even mini. They're proper celebrities of their own.
Entrepreneurs these days are bigger celebrities.
Yeah, they're the face of the brand.
Great. And now you've been on the branding side. There's a fun segment here where I'm going to ask you to rebrand some of the really, really boring businesses. Rebrand Indian Railways for Gen Z.
I don't know why this thought is coming. I would make a jingle on the... Do you know Zor Laga Ke Haisha?
Yeah.
I would make a jingle on that because Indian Railways only has one song. Yatri Kripya Dhyan De, that one. I'm going to make a cool song. I'll probably get Yashraj Mukhate to create it with this song and Zor Laga Ke Haisha. And then every Gen Z will be singing it.
Rebrand a rickshaw ride as an elite adventure.
Why is this only transport?
Oh, yeah. We'll come to the other one will not be a transport, but let's look at this one.
Elite ride.
Elite adventure.
Elite adventure. It's very popular in London. There are these fancy tuk-tuk rides that blast Taylor Swift and Travis Scott music. So if I need to get Gen Z to sit on this cool bike, I would revamp the rickshaw and do karaoke rickshaw. You sit on it and you and your friends. Yeah, because when you're doing Gedi or anywhere listening to jams and somebody's a DJ and then everyone's that vibe in a rickshaw. That'd be so fun.
Last one. Pitch the morning alarm as a mental health app.
I would probably do read all your text messages, your text messages loud so your mom and dad can hear it in the room and then the kids will just wake up to shut it down.
Of course.
Yeah. Just reveal your secrets in the morning alarm. Everyone's up.
Fair. Okay. Last advice for our students. This is day one. A lot of them are wanting to build careers in branding, marketing. So what is your one advice to them?
I know everyone here says the same thing, but honestly, make most of what's going to come here because everything that you learn, you're actually going to use. I'm not joking. Everything I learned in my studies, not in school. School में तो मुझे कुछ नहीं अच्छा सिखाया, I feel. But college में जो सिखाया है और उसके बाद जो भी सिखाया है, you really, really use it. And second, don't only be confined to a classroom. And that I'm speaking from personal experiences. Do whatever you want to, whether you want to build a business on the side, whether you want to do extracurricular activities, whether you want to be a content creator, whatever it is that drives you, do it, because this is the time. And do not let anyone stop you. And there's a lot of opportunities here as well, I'm sure. So continue doing whatever you want to.
Awesome. Now is the exciting time when I'm going to let the students ask questions. So if you have a question, raise your hand, guys, and we'll let you ask. Okay, there's a question there.
My name is Aryan. I wanted to ask you what would you say is the most underrated skill to have for marketing and branding?
I think the most underrated skill is actually knowledge, because in marketing and branding, what knowledge about people around you. So what I mean is you need to know your consumer inside out. Everything about what India is doing, how tier 2 city behaves, how a tier 1 city behaves, what people are watching, where they are going out, just human psychology. That understanding is very important for marketing. And I'll tell you why. Like some of the campaigns that we have run is on matrimonial sites, because we had the data and we had that intelligence to know that a lot of people who are our consumers are actually on matrimonial sites and websites looking for Jeevan Sathi, etc. And those campaigns worked really well. But how did we know that? Because we had understanding of where our consumers are. So just be aware of your surroundings, aware of what people are doing, where they're doing, and even news, what is happening. Because all the best campaigns are ones that suddenly happen. It's called like peak marketing. Like अगर बारिश हो रही है, जो notification आता है ना बारिश हो रही है. Just awareness of around you and everything that's happening is very, very important. Amul does it so well. Whenever anything around in India is happening, they take out a campaign that very second. You know what I'm talking about? What Amul does? Yeah. That awareness is very important.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, a question here.
Hello, Saiba.
Hi.
First of all, we love your content.
Thank you.
And I really want to ask, what was Saiba Bali like during her college days? And what's that one memory from your college time that you can never forget?
Dude, I was so fun. I loved being in college. I miss it so much. And I don't think there's any difference between Saiba now and Saiba then. Saiba then, look-wise, was very, very different. I used to look very, very different then. But I was just as crazy. Like, I wanted to do everything. So I would be in college till 8, 9 p.m. because I was in theatre. And in the morning, I would sit down for lectures. The only thing that's very different is that I did not understand economics at all. Like I was sitting in my class and I was like blank and I'm looking around and there were studious people who wanted to get into finance. And I always knew I don't want to do finance. Like I want to do marketing. So I want to be that creative person, but also analytical. So I had to get tuitions. So my parents were like, एक तो तुम college जा रहे हो पढ़ने economics, फिर आके घर भी तुम्हें tuition ही चाहिए. I was like, tuition is teaching me more than what I can learn in that classroom. And this is what I'm saying is don't be confined only to your classroom. And I used to eat like crazy. Anda chowmein was my favorite. And the fountain wala Coke or Thumbs Up. And now there's a diet Thumbs Up, which nobody should drink. Everyone should have original Thumbs Up. And I used to travel in the metro. So for 3 years, metro was my bed because my journey from Gurgaon to North Campus was very long.
Thank you so much for answering that.
Awesome. Yes.
Hi Saiba, I am Trisha and I am from Chandigarh. So my question is that as students, like how should we approach networking without sounding desperate or transactional?
You can sound desperate. There's nothing bad in sounding desperate at your age because you guys need it and people understand because you're talking to people who have lived your life exactly. So when students also come to me, whether they need advice on their CV or they need internship and all, I understand the desperation. So don't worry about how you'll come across. It's okay. You can send some person like 1,000 cold emails also, it works. But what is very, I would say commendable about people and that's very unique and different is how differently they approach someone. Like I said, that chit that came into my bag saying they knew everything about me. So they said, I know you need this, I need this, I have the skills, this is my number, call me anytime. It was almost like the person is hitting on me, but it was done very professionally. Then on LinkedIn, I remember when I was at Zomato, somebody had already created a campaign and tagged me on it and said, for Diwali, if you want to use these posters, please do. So they had already done the work. So that was a unique way of approaching instead of saying, hi, I want an internship, saying this is what I've done for the brand. If you are interested, maybe I can come to office and like show you the artwork that I've created for your brand. So just trying to help the brand. And again, it's okay to be desperate. Everybody is. You need that job. It is completely fine.
Thank you so much for answering.
Okay. Yes.
Hi Saiba, my name is Gayatri. So since you've already worked in Zomato and you have very good experience in marketing, I would like to understand the marketing future is more out of marketing memes or marketing stories according to the current generation. What do you have to say on that?
Depends on who you're marketing to. So if you're marketing to Gen Z and younger millennials, who are called zillennials, I am one, then meme marketing works well, but it only works well for tier 1 cities. So it's a very small niche. Meme marketing will not work for tier 2, tier 3 Hindi speaking somewhere in the middle of India or boomers. For boomers, WhatsApp works, for example, because they're obsessed with WhatsApp forwards. So any kind of campaign, these are called distribution. Like how do you send the information, right? Depends on who you're sending it to. So nowadays, Reddit has become very popular, but the people on Reddit are also a very small cohort. So again, where your audience is and what they're watching, what they're seeing, what they're reading, to answer his question also, it depends on that. There's no one blanket answer.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Saiba.
Hello.
This side, on your left.
My left.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to know what impact will marketing have because of AI coming in and how you are upskilling yourself for that change.
Thank you for that question. I just did a session on AI and marketing. So I love it. I love talking about AI and marketing. Because there is so much to learn, and to be honest, I haven't. So in December, I was supposed to go for a summer program this year to learn more about AI. And I am now going in December to learn more about AI. And that's something that I think everyone needs to take that own initiative to do. Because this is new. And even your professors are trying to get in touch with it. Even like old marketers are trying to get in touch with it because this has just come up. So everyone needs to take the initiative to familiarize themselves with AI. And the future is huge because now AI is being used to make ads where you don't need actors, you don't need scripters, you don't need copywriters. But the only problem is that the art of storytelling is getting lost. You know, all the ads that you guys remember are something that you saw on TV that had jingles and there were 1 minute ads. If I ask you right now today, any ads you saw, you won't remember. Do you remember any ad you saw while scrolling reels today?
The Zepto boarding ads, I remember them. That Chandan.
No, today.
Oh no.
See, and the truth is that you were exposed to more than 270 ads in one day. Gen Z is exposed to 270 ads digitally in one day, but you don't remember a single one of them. But you would remember a nice old ad that you saw growing up with a jingle. Do you remember which one? Can you just give me one? Tata Sky? Yeah. See? So art of storytelling is dying because of AI.
Also, ma'am, I have started a 5-minute podcast series.
Sorry, can you say that again?
I have started a 5-minute podcast series.
Oh, nice.
My first guest was Food Farmer. Would you like to be the second guest there?
You put me on a spot here. But I would love to. Genuinely, I would love to. And Food Farmer is a great guy.
Yeah. He was my first guest.
Yeah.
Would you like to be the second guest for that?
I would be the second guest. 2 is also my lucky number.
How about after this event?
Itna time nahi abhi. I've just flown in from Bombay. I have to do this. But rightly done, I will 100%. You have my word. I will 100% do it.
How can I reach out to you?
That
Talk to us
after this
and
now,
we
we'll
will.
tell you.
Sure. Thank you.
Saiba.
Address bhi de do abhi sabke samne.
Hi,
Thank you.
Saiba, this side.
Thank you.
Hi, Saiba.
Hi.
This is my second time meeting you. Remember, obviously you wouldn't remember, but I met you in I'm Bangalore in 2024. You'd come for a similar event, and every time I listen to you talk, I am in so much awe. So
Oh, thank you. Wait, you did your masters and you've come for undergrad?
no. I went for
I'm so confused.
I went to attend a seminar back in I'm Bangalore, and every time your insights about marketing are so authentic that it really gives me a new perspective. But as you're an economics student, life is all about trade-offs.
Yeah.
But I think your life undefies that. You have never let a trade-off come and stop you from doing anything. So how did you manage that? How did you become who you are today, defying all these trade-offs?
Thank you, making me senti. But the truth is, no, the opportunity cost was high because you always, like economics, you always have to sacrifice something in order to get something, right? So even my thing was to find equilibrium. I don't know why we're talking in puns now. My entire life, to be honest with you, has been trying to find that equilibrium. I'm not joking because in a day, I have my team here. I'm shooting right now a brand reel as you're talking. I had to do this session with you guys. I've just flown in from Bombay where I was auditioning and I was shooting for a web series. So
I'm just trying to juggle everything that I can, and I tell everyone my life's like a circus and I'm a juggler.
But how do you keep it going on? What drives you?
What drives me is that that's a very good. What drives me is every day I wake up and I do something different. So every day I genuinely wake up. I was like, आज क्या है? आज shoot है, ठीक है? आज क्या? आज marketing class क्या है? आज क्या? एक investment meeting है. So every morning is something different, and I love living like that. But to be honest, guys, it really takes a toll on my health, and it really takes a toll on personal relationships. So it's not always as beautiful as it is, but you have to find your peace somewhere, and I do have to sacrifice a lot. But yeah, I think as it's not just me in silos who's doing that. I think all women, sorry men, but I feel like all women try to find a balance in their life because so much is expected out of them.
Yeah.
And you, not right now, you're young, but later in life, when you reach late 20s and 30s, you'll understand that also. That is the truth of being a woman, and you just need to define it. And just be like, yeah, I got this. It's not something crazy. But you can do it too. I know only 1 year you'll be telling me all these crazy stories about yourself, and I'll be like, I'm in awe of you.
Thank you so much, Saiba. It was Gunjan this side.
Thanks, Gunjan.
Okay, one
hi.
last one.
Hi, Saiba. Harsham here, center. Yeah. Firstly, being someone who is very keen towards economics, I really appreciate the content you post about current affairs and economics on your stories. Not as frequently, but
I get into trouble, so I have to be a little.
So my question is, you've worked in the brand industry as well, in branding and marketing, and you've also done films. And we've also learned that storytelling is a huge aspect about whenever you're selling a brand. So from your personal side, do you feel it is harder or easier to sell a brand or to sell a character in front of the audience?
Wow. Oof. So to sum up your question, it is whether I find it difficult to sell a character, make it more credible for you guys to see on screen, or to sell a brand. I think the tougher one is the character. Because to sell a brand, it's not fiction, it's real. Consumers are real, India is real, who is buying it, the money is real, and the information I'm giving you is real. And if I don't give you real information, there is consumer court, and I don't want to go there, right? So everything is based on data and real and facts. So it's transactional, so to say. When it comes to creativity, whether it's content or whether it's screen, it is fictional. And I have to try very hard in my skills to make you believe that it's real, even though it's fake. So converting fake to real is the hard job. Real to real is not.
And just a small follow-up question. If you had to choose either one career at this point of your life, so either give it all in for branding and marketing or give it all in to become an actor, what would you choose?
If I do that, I won't be Saiba Bali, so I'm not going to choose one.
On that note, a huge round of applause for Sahiba.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.